now we move into the third subtopic, which is my ideal school. The first activity in this subtopic is a teacher activity which is done by the teachers of this school and the partner school. So let's move on to activity 2. This activity of this subtopic was a very interesting one. Students were asked many questions as to what they would do if they would start their own school, their ideal school.
The name of my school will be Hope, because hope will be instilled in each and every student who comes to my school, which is very important.
The name of my school will be Blue Diamond High. I don't know why I chose this name, but maybe because blue stands for prosperity and diamond is a nice element.
The name of my school will be the Sublime School. Sublime means the extreme of beauty and excellence, and that is what my
I name my school Syncope High, because syncope is the biological term for imagination.
The name of my school, let me think. Okay, the school. Because I want my school to have everything a school should have. Features? Well, my school would have some very interesting features, like, instead of having more like, teacher-based school, this is going to be more of a student-based school. Like most of the ideas that the students are going to come up, instead of a teacher-dominated school. So like, for example, a student committee is something which is going to organize something in 10 years. So instead of going and directly working somewhere, they will get that experience in school. So that is going to be one main feature if I were.
My school will have free Wi-Fi and students will use laptops and tablets instead of notebooks. And maybe I can help the students to come up with new ideas and inventions and paintings.
And the first feature I would like to implement in my school is book locker, because I feel students carry a lot of books to the classes. They carry heavy loads and which makes them really tired when they reach their classes. So book locker will be a very good feature. Features of my ideal school will be first to inculcate the right knowledge in the students, that is to take them out of the box, that is to have them think out of the box and make them learn not only in the classroom but also at the playground, where they learn what is failure and the steps to take ahead. Yeah, the main theme of my school would be don't run behind success. If you improve your talent in your favorite course, success will automatically come. The motto of my school would be value the student's choice. Be brighter and stay higher would be the motto of my school. The motto of my school would be come what may, always have hope.
Describing my school in one word, well, the word would be zest, because my ideal school, if I were to start a school, it would be something full of fun. So zest is something of, meaning a lot of fun and joy. So in one word, I would go with zest.
In my school, one word to describe my school. As incomparable, it's very unique.
In one word, awesome.
Well, that was interesting indeed. In activity 3, teams also reviewed some structures that are often used in writings like students must, students can, students have to, students don't have to, etc. In groups, teams taught their students to write a list of 10 rules for their school. These rules were not traditional rules, but rules which came completely out of their box, completely out of their creative minds. Activity 4. In activity 4, members of teams 12 had to draw an organogram. An organogram is a plan showing the names and job titles for key staff and how they relate to each other. This is how Teams 12 did it. Go!
Well, I'm here to explain the staff structure. There is an organogram of my ideal school, where it goes like this. The founder of the school, that is the chairperson, will be the head of all, and under him will come the CEO, correspondent and the director, who have equal shares. Then under them comes the CAO, known as the Chief Administration Officer. He will run the administration and will take care of it. And under him comes the Senior Principal, and the AO, that is the Administration Officer, will help the CAO administer the department. And under the Senior Principal comes Principal and the Vice Principal, who reports whatever happens in the school to the Senior Principal. And under them comes the Senior HM, who runs the department. And under the HM comes AHMs. So under these HMs and AHMs comes the teaching and the non-teaching staffs. So under the teaching staffs comes a wide range of and then the mass students. Then under the non-teaching staff, some electronic and the computer operators, the doctors, and the attendants and the maids. But never forget the students.
I will quickly again, and now I'm ready to give away my school's organogram. First, we have the chief executive officer, who is the head of the total institution. Then we divide the whole responsibility into three equal heads. One is the chief innovative and informative officer, that is the creative head. Second is the chief operations officer, that is the principal. And third is the chief administration officer, who is the dean. Below the chief innovation officer, we have the club presidents and vice presidents, who can actually take care of all the clubs and innovative activities. Beneath the principal, that is the chief operations officer, we have the vice principal, HMs and AHMs, teaching staff, HODs, and so on. Then in the chief administrative officer, that is the dean's way, we have HR below, and below HR we have the administrative officer, and below the administrative officer we have the non-teaching staff. Below all these three cadres lie our students who are the power and the future of the world.
Activity 5. In Activity 5, students were asked to imagine that they work at their ideal school and they want to teach a 10-minute lesson. Students were allowed to teach the class something they're interested in. They didn't have to stick to traditional lesson types. For this, 3 students of Team Wolf, namely Abhyuday, Pranav and Calvin, volunteered themselves. Let's have a look at what they had to teach us. Firstly, we had Abhyuday's class on dropping assumptions, which is very interesting and thoughtful. His main aim of taking this class was to drop assumptions from the mind of students. It proved to be a very interesting and interactive class. Next, we had Pranav's class on success and failure, which defined what is success and what is failure. He believed that to get success, failure is an important material, or rather, ingredient. Even this class was very, very interactive. But Calvin Anthony's dance classes were simply the best. Calvin Anthony choreographed dance moves based on day-to-day life things like soap, hair oil, hat comb, etc. and taught these to all the students. This was an amazing class in which everybody had loads of fun. Indeed, we did learn how to shake a leg. Activity 6. Activity 6 was an activity in which students had to vote as to who taught the best lesson. And without doubt, it went to Calvin Anthony for his amazing dance classes which made everybody laugh, shout, scream and enjoy. Congratulations, Calvin. Activity 7 was a very, very interesting one. It was a debate. Team's work was divided into 2 teams, and one team had to argue for alternative education and the other team had to argue against alternative education. Both the teams had a lot of preparation so that they could argue with a lot of confidence in their minds. This debate proved very useful in improving their English language and the confidence with which they speak in public. Activity 8. In Activity 8, students were asked to discuss with their parents or grandparents what their school was like when they were children, and these activities were performed at home first, and then all these points were jotted down on paper and a group discussion on this topic took place at school. This was a very interesting activity as all the students of this century came to know the education techniques and methods of the previous century. For Activity 9, students of Teams 12 were divided into pairs and they were asked to discuss their favorite studying techniques and why they are useful. Activity 10. After all the research and discussions, would the group change anything about the ideal school that they have designed? Students were asked to look back at the organograms, a list of rules, mottos, and etc. and amend anything that they have changed their mind about. Students did have a lot of different thoughts and amended their organograms, the list of rules, and in some cases the school's name.
Shining in the setting sun like a pearl upon the ocean. Come and feel me, oh feel me. Shining